The date is 12/12/12, or December 12th, 2012. And it is Weird Build Wednesday here on your daily dose of D&D. Hey guys, welcome to your daily dose of D&D. My name is Matt Wanko, and I'm here with Weird Build Wednesday, the day where I get to make something very, very fun in D&D and tell you guys about it. So today, the build that we're doing is called BanHammer. And this is a fun concept of a character who has this hammer and a shield, and when he hits them, they go flying. And there's a couple different ways to do this build. This version of it is made with a battle mind as its main thing, and we'll run through some of the feats and stuff. First of all, for the attributes of this build, the most important is Constitution. Battle minds use Constitution for attack, so it lets your guy be pretty tough, and max your Constitution, which is always fun. And then, secondly, for the powers that I've chosen, Charisma is a good secondary, to just boost, your Charisma modifier is used in one or two of your powers, to show how far people move away from you. And the fun thing about this build is that when your powers allow you to push somebody, you boost that with all your different feats and items and stuff. And so it can get kind of fun, and you get a lot of different pushing. Jumping right into feats, the first feat is Bludgeon Expertise. You do use a hammer. In fact, later on in the build, I take Crag Hammer Expertise, so it's a pretty vicious looking hammer that deals a little bit more damage. Not a lot, but a little. And so that's pretty cool. But with Bludgeon Expertise, you get a +1 feat bonus to schmack at a thing with a hammer. Not to schmack at a thing with a hammer, but when you schmack something with a hammer, it moves 1 square, additional to what it would move before. This is the only power that, the only feat that says it is a feat bonus. The rest are all conditional. Secondary is Battering Shield. Another +1 while you're wearing a heavy shield, which you do. Hammering Iron, when you do an opportunity attack, you have the option to push 1. It doesn't add to your main push, which is at currently +2 at the moment, but it's just kind of useful. An important thing for this build is you need to multi-class Fighter to qualify for the awesome Paragon path for this. And luckily there is a Fighter multi-class that requires Constitution, so you don't even need to put anything in Strength. Being a Fighter allows you to qualify for a feat called Hindering Shield, that when you push somebody, they get slowed, as well as suddenly being further away. For your powers, Battle Minds don't have like the standard stuff. They have 3 at-wills. Well, they start with 2 at-wills, but get a third, and then just swap between those. The 2 important ones are first Bull's Strength, which allows you to push, you hit the guy and you push him a little. And then when you augment it with 2 augment points, you get to push everybody in a close blast 3. And then Concussive Spike is something that's kind of similar. There's a lot you can do with it. But when you hit somebody, you push everybody except him. So, the big bad guy's got all of his little minion friends around him. You go up to him and Force Spike, or Concussive Spike, and he stands and all of his allies go whoa, flying away. So that's pretty cool. We'll move now on to Paragon Path. The Paragon Path that we multi-classed Fighter for is called Iron Vanguard. And at level 16, because I build all my weird builds at level 16, when you push somebody or knock them prone, you can add your Constitution modifier to that damage. So that's that. We're currently up to +2 push from just feats. And I think Bull's Strength, Concussive Spike allows you to push all those other people equal to 1 plus your Charisma modifier. I know something that does that. Battle Minds are actually kind of very, very easy to make for this build. For your items, for your Crag Hammer, the enchantment I chose is called Knockback. In addition to some fun crit effects and a little bit of a power, you get to add +2 to the distance that you would have shoved somebody. Then there's a pair of boots called Rushing Cleats. You get to push things an additional square on a close or melee attack. The hammer is a +2 item bonus. Rushing Cleats do not specify item bonus. So there's another +1. Gauntlets of the Ram. You get to add +1 on any push attack you would make. And then the only other magical item I have set aside already is called a Bashing Shield. And then as a daily free action, you get to add a D4 onto a push effect. Actually, I think it's just on any melee attack you can add some push. So, and how the different powers and the different feats all work, all come into question, and you have to figure out, some of them might not qualify for this attack, and some qualify for over here, and you're just never sure. But when you go through and you figured it all out, hold on, confirming math, there we go. Yeah, and so what you can do with the Battle Mind's at-will attack, assuming that I haven't made any gross rule-breaking build things, is you can go up to a guy and go, smack! Actually, I suppose you have a shield. So you can go, smack! I don't know if you guys saw that. The camera's kind of at a weird angle. I'm not used to that yet. You hit them with your hammer, and they go flying 30 feet. And then they're slowed. And they take extra damage from having done that. So, that's BanHammer. Yeah, kind of a fun build. If you have any things that would improve this build, or any questions about it, please leave them in the comments below. As with all my weird builds, I will eventually make them up as a PDF downloadable thing, but I haven't done it for any of them yet. Please remind me to do so. It's probably not happening this week. Maybe I'll give it a try next week. I don't know. But, yeah, leave me a note if you would be interested in those. And, yeah, if you have the opportunity, check out BanHammer. Welcome to the DM's Corner. It's World Building Wednesday here, and we're talking today about magic. And I don't have a lot of thoughts for this specific talk about magic, but it was something that's come up in our home games that we've done, and it's just an interesting distinction between the different, what would you call them, areas that the DMs have control. And specifically with one person's area, Paul, the DM who's running our current game right now, has in his world an interesting thing where there's enchanters guilds pretty much everywhere, and it's just like the small mages guild thing that specializes in enchantments. And these aren't like enchanted vorpal blades or anything like that. Well, they kind of are. They're enchanted of like farm implements. Maybe a hoe that, focuses power and suddenly tills an entire field. Or where it'll bind wheat as you reap, or stuff like that. Implements that with a highly sophisticated technology would no longer be magic, but still get a lot of farm work done. And when you have, the more technology that you put into a agricultural system, the more people you can support with less people employed, which means that, kind of like how the world works today, where we have just a couple of farmers out there who are able to provide huge supplies of food for everybody, because it doesn't take them a lot of effort, and they can produce a lot more than they consume. And so, instead of having 7 people of 10 be a farmer, it's more like 1 person in 10, if that. It's definitely fallen. I ought to know numbers, but I totally don't. But in our D&D worlds, it should be back up towards like 7 people in 10, or even higher, who make food. And that's an important thing that you need to think about, is that a lot of these people, we're used to running into soldiers and kings and people in towns and adventurers and bandits, but knowing where food is coming from is an extremely important thing. Now, it's boring, and you can understand story-wise why that type of stuff is normally cut from works of literature. But is it within our right to cut that from our games? It is an important part of what's going on. And in regards to magic, why don't, mages do that all the time? Is it, what is the difference between a sword and a scythe? when it comes to harvesting lives and harvesting grain. What type of enchantments should mages be able to do? Are your heroes qualified to be able to, do agricultural enchantments? If they have an enchant item ritual. Basically what I'm saying is that we should remember that magic isn't only limited to the adventurers. It's available to anyone who can afford it. And if the adventurers can find magical items pretty much just on the ground and anywhere they look, then the local people should be able to do it too. And maybe they've enchanted their carts, and maybe they've enchanted their, I don't know, clothes even can be enchanted to not get dirty as often, not rip as often. Who knows? But think about how magic works in your campaign, and maybe in regards to food. I don't know. But if you have any thoughts on this, please leave them in the comments below. Closing remarks today. Thank you all for coming to your daily dose of D&D. I am recording this on my new computer, but I've plugged in my old webcam, which is much better than my computer's webcam, which is way annoying. Hopefully the video is working quite. I can see myself over there, and my words are a little bit off, and it's very, very disconcerting. But it's a little bit convenient to not be over at that computer when I'm normally at this computer. And I will be able to go into another room with this computer to be able to edit stuff. That's always convenient. So yeah, thank you guys for coming out and watching this. Not that you had to go anywhere. If you like not going anywhere to get a daily dose of D&D, click on the subscribe button, whether they're hiding it up top or left or right, and I will be brought every day to your YouTube inbox by a butler carrying me on a silver tray and proffering it unto you to limit the effort that you need to be able to enjoy the experience. If you know anyone who needs to see this video, click on the share button down below, or go all the way up to the top to the address bar, grab that, and throw it to them, however you would normally choose to do so. If you honestly like this video as well, please click on the like button down below. And that lets me know that I'm doing a good job. If you didn't like this video, please leave a comment telling me why you didn't like this video. And you leave a comment anyway. I asked a bunch of questions. I'm trying to do better about that. Once again, my name is MadMat1Cow. And this has been your daily dose of D&D. Stay online, and I will see you next time.